guys. I feel like, I don't know, I feel a lot of things, and that's why I decided to make this video. Mainly, I just wanted to share what has been going on a little bit, or the reason that I haven't really been active on here very much at all for the past several months. And I think a lot of that has to do with, I don't know. I do know, but I'm having a hard time wording it. So for the past couple of months, I haven't really been doing the greatest. And I guess like I could kind of sense the buildup for that. And so a while back, I just stopped making videos for the most part because I like making recovery videos for you guys when I'm actively using all of those tips and everything else that I'm giving you. I feel more authentic doing it that way. And so because I haven't been actively using all of those, I feel a little bit fake coming on here and being like, this is how you do recovery, when I'm not like fully succeeding in it. Which, don't get me wrong, I still am applying parts of recovery to my life. I've just slipped a little bit, and this slip has been a little bit bigger, and I've been trying to find my way back from it. I try to remind you guys often, or at least I was trying to remind you guys often when I was regularly making videos, that recovery isn't linear. It doesn't go in a straight line, and I have had a difficult time applying that to myself. Sometimes I just need to remind myself that I'm a person too, just like you guys, and my recovery isn't gonna go like this either. And just because it doesn't sometimes doesn't mean that I'm all the way back. I think that's a really difficult concept to grasp in your mind unless you've done it a few times. And I guess I've just mainly felt ashamed because I'm getting an influx of messages from you guys all the time being like, you seem like you're doing really well, and I want to know how you got to the point that you are, when in reality I'm not doing my best. I feel kind of shameful that I can't be that person for you guys in the moment, but at the same time, like, I don't want to present myself that way if that's not how I really am, because I want to be as authentic as I possibly can. And I'm sorry, I might seem like I'm rambling a bit just because I haven't done this in a while, and so it feels a little bit strange to me. Hopefully you're able to follow what I'm saying for the most part. I think that not using the advice that you give people is a reoccurring theme that goes on amongst people in the world. That's just a naturally occurring thing that happens a lot of the time, but we all seem to beat ourselves up about it for the most part and feel ashamed about it, when in reality that's just a human response. That's something that a lot of us have a difficult time doing, because when we give other people advice, it's from an outside perspective, and we are a lot more inclined to help people that are not us, and we're able to see the situation a lot clearer because we're not in their exact shoes. And when it comes to us, things get distorted, and there's a lot of things that cloud our judgment. And so following our own advice isn't always going to happen. And I think that that's okay, but it's taken me a long time to accept that that's okay, and that's why I'm just now making this video for you guys. So yeah, I feel uncomfortable sharing tips about recovery when I'm not currently following or practicing all of those things. But that doesn't mean that those tips and the advice isn't true, that it isn't valid. Just like my own emotions are valid, as well are yours. And they don't always have to be on the up and up. I don't need to be this consistently happy, perky person that's like really invested in recovery for you guys, because you need a whole person. I feel like there's not a lot of that on the internet. There is so much being talked about mental health wise now as opposed to how it used to be, but I feel like the vast majority of those people sharing their mental health struggles are sharing them from a place of a success. Like, this is how I was doing, this is what I did to overcome these things, and this is where I'm at now. And yes, it helps people relate while at the same time giving them hope, but it doesn't show the like nitty-gritty in between stuff that I feel like a lot of people could benefit from seeing, because it's highly relatable and allows people to feel like they're along on the journey with them and not like they have to jump from this place of just misery to fulfillment. I feel like sharing how you're doing in the moment is a little bit taboo, and it is scary for me because the way that people respond to it is very different, and it's a lot more likely that you're going to get more negative feedback, mostly from people that just genuinely don't understand, than you will if you share successful stories. When you come from that side of it, you get a lot more positive reinforcement than you do when you're just telling people that you're not doing that well. And people assume the worst and they make assumptions and accusations. And I'm not saying that everybody does that either, but the potential of that happening is a lot more likely, and I have had that happen. And I know that there have been many times when I've shared how I'm doing in the moment, but I've at times gotten that kind of feedback, and so it scares me to share in the moment stuff again. Hopefully the things that I share with you guys are helpful, like the tips and advice and just general information that I give you guys. And yeah, it would be great if I could share that stuff while coming from a super recovered place, but that doesn't take away from the things that I'm sharing. The things that I'm sharing are just as valid and true and important to incorporate into your life or to just be aware of as they always were. So just because I may be struggling doesn't mean that the stuff I share can't still be helpful and useful to you. And it can be beneficial for me too, because thinking of all of these tips and everything else kind of gets my brain more into that recovery mode and gets me thinking about all of the things that I could be doing, that I could be using in my own life, and kind of shifts the focus a little bit for me. And just to hear myself say them on camera too, to be going through the editing process and re-hearing these things, I think it kind of helps my brain to just focus in on that side of things a little bit more. So it's good for all of us is what I'm trying to get out there. Anyways, yeah, the last couple of months have they've sucked. Like, there's just been a lot of stressful stuff going on. And I forgot to even mention, I went to Aruba for 3 weeks, which is an island in the Caribbean, with my grandma. And we both needed a relaxing vacation away from everything. And I think that was really helpful. It was really beneficial. Some stuff from a couple of years ago has just kind of resurfaced itself and been taking up way too much space than it deserves to in my mind. And somebody created a fake account of me on Instagram and said that it was like an 18 plus account with a link to like a site of videos of people that without their heads, and it was just their bodies, claiming that it was me, when I've never taken a video like that. And they stole my pictures from my Instagram, screenshotted them and stuff, and just made me feel very violated. They had me blocked. I couldn't actually see the account or the site myself. They followed my little brother, my stepdad, like 100 people that I know, that I went to high school with. It has just been a stressful time, and those are just some of the main things, and I didn't even really get into detail about the other stuff just because it's personal, and there's some things that I want to leave personal and not disclose on the internet, which I feel like is the same for most people. I have really been trying, and I have new tools that I didn't have before that I've used, that I've incorporated into my everyday life, and it has been challenging, but I've also been working harder at protecting my mental health than I ever have, which I think is really important. The other thing that I feel like I've been having an issue with lately is just feeling like I need to validate everything that I do, which is also tied into making this YouTube video. Like, I know that I don't need to validate my emotions or my actions most of the time, but yet I still do it. And I felt like I owed you guys an explanation, and I needed to validate my reasonings for not really being active on here for a while. And I'm gonna try to work on that more. I'm gonna try to work on validating my own emotions without seeking outside validation. And yeah, if that's something that you have a hard time with, maybe try that out too. That's basically all I had to say. I am not sure where my YouTube channel is gonna go from here on out. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, when I'm gonna make a video, when I'm not. And I'm sorry that things are a little bit unpredictable right now, but I just need to do what's best for me in the moment, and that might be making videos, that might be still taking a break from YouTube, and whatever that is, I hope that you guys will respect it. Right now, I feel like I want to be more consistent, but I'm not going to promise that I will be, because that feeling seems to change quite drastically, very suddenly, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow or the next day, and so I'm just going to kind of roll with how I'm feeling in the moment and respect how I feel and not put pressure on myself to do it. Thanks for letting me be a little bit vulnerable for a minute there, and I will see you guys sooner or later. Whatever happens, happens. That's basically where we're at. So, yeah. Okay, goodbye.